Hi guys, this is the short video on EDP 70104 Professional Practice in Higher Education. So this is the form on assessment of performance in teaching. So what I need you to do is before I enter the classroom, please make sure that you print a copy of this, but do remember to type in name of candidate, which is your name, in full type please, not handwritten, your institution, okay, the program and intake that you are teaching, the course that you are teaching, the date of the classroom observation, the time of the classroom observation, the topic that you're going to do or teach on that day, which I'm going to observe, and the venue. Okay, lesson observation here, please circle either is the first observation or second. Now in certain cases I might need to observe you the third time, so make sure that you circle this. Okay, alright, let's go through part A. We have two parts. One is part A and part B, so we'll look at part A first. This is the competencies, okay, competency level. So we have level 1, which is not yet, level 2, which is emerging. So as you can see, here is a bold line. Okay, so 1 and 2, that means you're not there. Okay, you haven't gotten what you have learned. Okay, for level 3 satisfactory, level 4 proficient, and level 5 is excellent. Alright, let's look at the competencies here. A, okay, in the brackets provided for the sub-competencies, insert the competency level 1 to 5. Insert an A when there is no opportunity for the candidate to demonstrate the competency. And B, in the boxes provided for competency, insert the overall competency level 1 to 5, which is the average of the sub-competencies levels. So this section will be the total or the overall competency, and here is the sub-competency where I will put in either 1 or 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Right? Now, the first thing that we look at here is the lesson preparation, where the weightage is 20%. So you have to look at the sub-competencies. What are the things that I will look for? Okay, so all this delineates appropriate learning outcomes, selects appropriate sequence and content, and select appropriate teaching strategies, aligns teaching and learning activities to learning outcomes, caters to learners' diverse needs and abilities. So please make sure that you know your learners prior to the teaching observation. Develops a workable or appropriate time schedule, selects appropriate resources or equipment or tools to support learning. So this means that you must have your teaching aid. Second is lesson implementation, which is 40%. So the sub-competencies are introduces and concludes a lesson appropriately. So that means there must be a starting and ending. Okay, arouses and sustains a learner interest. Okay, you know what this means? It means that your learners must be engaged at all times. Okay, encourages learner participation, not just one way. You tell them what they need to learn. Okay, so there must be interaction between you and students, and interaction between students and students. Okay, gives clear explanation or demonstrations, questions and response appropriately, stimulates higher order thinking. Okay, please revise on the Bloom's taxonomy. Uses voice and language appropriately, organizes and facilitates individual or group learning effectively, integrates IT or media or resources effectively and or creatively, paces lesson appropriately. Okay, just a note here, Make sure when you ask some questions, please do not answer it yourself. Make sure that you count slowly from 1 to 30, 30, okay? And then ask your students to answer. Please do not answer the questions yourself. Now, the other one is the third competency that we're looking at here will be feedback and assessment, which is 15%. Okay, what are the sub-competencies? Gives appropriate and timely feedback to learners. Okay, so this is what I mean. Please do not ask and answer the questions yourself. Monitors and addresses learner understanding. Gives meaningful tasks or take-home homework. Remember the reinforcement I told you about? That many of you were like, oh, no, 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 no. Okay, so it's here. Alright, people. Now, classroom management, 15%. Okay, so what are the sub-competencies? Establishes interaction and rapport with learners. Sets and enforces classroom rules or routines effectively, meaning that if I'm sitting at the back of the classroom and 1 or 2 students came in late and you just ignore, that means I will put a 1 here. Okay, you have to address that. When they come in, they have to address and give you a reason for being late. Alright? Okay, the next one, the third bullet is maintains discipline in a positive way, creates a secure environment which engenders trust and respect, creates an environment that empowers learners. Okay, now this is part B, professional attributes and attitudes, which is 10%. Please note that feedback for part B need not be based on lesson observations. Evidence can be obtained from the candidate's reflections, feedback, conferences, and observations of his or her interactions with learners and colleagues. Okay, attributes or attitudes. In the brackets provided, insert the acceptance level of 1 to 4 for each attributes or attitudes. Note, insert an N, okay, when there is no opportunity for the candidate to demonstrate the attributes or attitudes. Okay, so for this one, the scale is 1 is unacceptable, 2 is acceptable, 3 is good, and 4 is excellent. Alright, so learner-centered values shows care and concern for learners, encourages learners' interest in the subject, has high expectations of learners, respects diversity of learners' backgrounds. Teacher identity, has professional integrity, able to adapt to different situations when necessary, shows perseverance, is receptive to setback, is reflective. So this reflective here is what I'm looking at in your reflection. So do write more and reflect on what you have learned. Okay, and after your classroom observation, I do need you to do a reflection as well. And then reports punctually for lessons and institutional events. In case you are late, please do apologize to the students. Okay, then completes and submits as assigned tasks on time, marks learners' work promptly and accurately, is sensitive to socio-cultural diversity, projects a professional image. Okay, professional image here, it depends on your course that you're teaching. If you're from hospitality, then if you wear a chef uniform, then that's a professional image. Okay, and so on and so forth. Now, surveys to institution. Alright, shows initiative. Remember the vision and mission of Taylor's Uni. So, you know TGC. Alright, so show initiative that you are, putting in TGC into your learning and teaching and learning. It works well with peers and colleagues, supports institutions, events, and programs. right? So these three, I might just talk to you about it. I need to interview because you need to see actually how you work with your peers and colleagues. Peers here will be those who are in the same course in the classroom, but colleagues, okay, so we will talk so I know how you do in this section. Alright, the next column here will be comment, strength, area for improvement, and suggestion. Right, so these are things that you will need to work on if there is any. Okay, so to sign off here at the end will be name of supervisor, signature, and also date. Okay, so this is the end of the short video for assessment of performance in teaching.